In this video today, you're gonna learn why I quit counting calories after 8+ years. What's going on? I'm Marcus Wolf, and if you're a busy guy looking for a fat loss solution that supports your busy lifestyle, smash that subscribe button because these videos are 100% for you to help you maximize your fat loss and get that shredded six-pack if that's what you want, or maybe you just want to have a lean stomach. It doesn't really matter. These are for the busy guy who wants to find solutions in their fat loss. Finally do it. What are we talking about here? We talking about counting calories? Not the game, but we're talking about counting calories. You know, 3-time MVP. Is it 3-time? I don't even know. Anyways, we're talking about why I don't count calories anymore after 8+ years of doing it. And I'm gonna share my experience because if you're using it right now and you're not digging it, I'll also share what I'm doing now. But if you're also even thinking about doing it, I could probably stir you in the other direction so that maybe you don't want to do it no more. So first of all, let's talk about why I even started counting calories. So there's this homie I have right here. He's a really good friend of mine, and look, he's super ripped, and he was eating Popeyes and Pop-Tarts, and I was like, well, not ripped, and I was eating chicken breast, rice, and broccoli, so I was like, I want to do what that guy's doing because what I'm doing right now don't make me look very good and feel very good. So I went to the counting calories world, where it's essentially you log in an app, you write it into a notebook. It does not matter, but either way, you want to track what you put into you, and by doing that, you can get away by eating certain types of foods. So I said to myself, I was doing the bro dieting thing. You know what I mean? Like I said, white rice, chicken breast, broccoli, every meal, oatmeal, protein shakes. It got really old. Got old quick. So I was missing really good food, and usually it would actually lead me to like binge episodes on a Saturday, and I didn't want that anymore. I wanted to indulge whenever I wanted to. I just wanted to indulge. Often. Yeah, there you go. After 7+ years of the bro dieting, there was no way I wasn't gonna jump on the counting calorie train. Choo choo! Anyways, so I started counting calories I think it was 8 years ago, from the tutelage, from my mentor, Kane, teaching me the ways. And by the end of this video, I'm gonna share my experiences, I'm gonna share why I quit, and I'm gonna share what I'm doing right now that has got me to 10% body fat way easier than counting calories ever did, and it might be right for you, and we'll talk about it. Let's talk about it. Mystical Morning, Good Mystical Morning. Anybody watch that? That is one of my favorites. All right, so one of the things that I learned from counting calories is it's super duper easy at the beginning. All you have to do, you have a certain target and you're like saying to yourself, I just have to hit that target and I'm gonna have a six-pack. That's pretty cool because the thing is, what you do to hit that target can be a lot of fun foods, you know what I mean? I found myself going to McDonald's, I found myself going to Walmart buying a case of Pop-Tarts and indulging on that. All right, so now that we have the brief definition of what counting calories is, now we're gonna talk about the cons of what is in this diet that I feel like created more problems than it solved. Because the only problems it solved was fun foods are now in my diet. Easy peasy, right? Okay, problem number 1. So one of the biggest cons of MyFitnessPal is numbers are not static. So there's not this this is my maintenance calories, this is my cutting calories, this is my bulking calories, and this is stone. It's written in stone. It doesn't work that way. Fat loss, building muscle, maintenance, it's all dynamic. It constantly changes. If you don't know when to move the numbers, you're literally just wasting time. And I found I was wasting a lot of time because you get so strung up on the other things in life that you don't want to be constantly moving this. Okay, so con number 2, it led to so many binge episodes because you're indulging now, and then you're like saying to yourself, ooh, if I have 2 Oreos, and if I have a cupcake, and then I have a this, and then by the time you're done, you're like, oh crap, I had a whole box of Oreos, I had a whole case of cupcakes. First of all, because it's in my grasp, so I was able to see it, so I'm going to probably eat it, and I was super hungry. Now, why am I super hungry? Why did that lead to binging? Very easy, because you know, the premise is always a calorie is a calorie. Theoretically, yes, but what certain calories do inside your body can drastically be different, right? So if I had sweet potatoes and chicken breast, all we got there are some carbs, and we got some protein with very minute, a little bit about fat. Anyways, and then if I got a burger from McDonald's, you got your carbs, you got your protein, and you got a minute amount of fat, or more fat. Anyways, those two things can be the exact amount of carbs, exact same amount of protein, but they're gonna respond in the body very differently. One's gonna satisfy your hunger, keep you satiated for a really long time. The other, sure, it's probably more enjoyable and convenient, but it's not gonna do much in regards to your hunger. So I was finding when I was on a calorie deficit for a very long time, I was always hungry. And then when you have the taste of one cupcake because it fits in your calories, and then you see the other 5, you're like, F that, man, I mean that 5 right there. I mean that whole thing. Yep, Oreo cookie, sure. Boom, it just led to binge episodes, and it was not cool because the thing is, sure, I saw progress, but I couldn't hold on to it. Not cool. So we got con number 3, and this one is 100% why I don't do it anymore, because it's effing tedious. Listen, every single day I logged in for I remember 4 years straight. First of all, a little messed up, but anyways, the tedious act of constantly logging in my food. I was at my parents' place, I would be at the restaurant, you pull out your phone and you're just kind of like, and then it's I remember one time I was at I had a charcuterie board. Oh man. So lovely. And you're oh, 2 pieces of cheese, salami, ham, but I had maybe a list of 12 different things I just logged in, and I'm like, what? I would rather be super present, eating that food, hanging out with whoever I was eating charcuterie with, and just say to myself, I don't want to be on my phone logging that in every single time. Now, that is a huge, huge reason why I don't want to do this anymore, because at the end of the day, time is very finite in my opinion. So I'm saying to myself, I don't want to be on my phone more often because I'm trying to log this in if there's another solution. So before I get to what I'm doing currently, I am going to share the pros of MyFitnessPal, tracking calories, whatever route you do. There are pros, and I'm going to give you them. I'll tell you right now. Okay, so pro number 1. It definitely can regulate food intake, because first of all, when you log it in, you see it now, you're just kind of like, holy, I'm only eating let's say 1,800 calories a day. I should eat more. Or adversely, it can be the complete opposite. You can now log it in and you're like, holy, I'm eating 2,800 calories. No wonder I'm not losing any weight. You know, it just starts to hook you up with some insight you could use, and regulation of food intake is really important when you want to lose fat, gain muscle, maintain, doesn't really matter. So that is obviously the beneficial part of calories, to have a little bit of control. Pro number 2. The same insight can use to now fix minute things. So now that you know where your calories are at, now you can say to yourself, oh, I'm also low on my protein, I'm very low on my fats, I'm very low on my X, Y, and Z. So then you say to yourself, okay, so I'm just gonna eat more of the X, Y, and Z. And it's faster, real-time ability to use that insight to now benefit for your fat loss, your muscle gain, your blah, 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 blah. Okay, so it regulates food, it regulates protein, and then lastly, it also gives you an idea of what is inside food. You say to yourself, man, I wanna have that piece of cake. Log it in to see what it's up. No, you don't log it in, but you look for how many calories and what's distributed for the cake, and you're like, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it, right? So that's pretty cool, right? Because the thing is, you have certain foods now that you say to yourself, I'm not gonna spare my valuable calories every single day to eat that cake because I'd rather have X, Y, and Z. Okay, so you're regulating your food, you're regulating your protein numbers or any other numbers, and at the same time too, you're also saying no to certain things because now you have the knowledge of what's in it. So obviously, go back to the cons though, because doing that every single day is just not fun. You could get away with just not doing that, because once you learn this insight, now you have the insight. You don't need to constantly learn this, right? So that's where I'm gonna share with what I'm doing today. I am using the fundamentals of what I learned from the calorie counting, what I like from calorie counting, and I've developed a diet where essentially, and I only use it for my private clients, I only do it for myself, and I'm only gonna share this right now with a snippet, because I am gonna give you the chunks. It's where you just regulate your portions and try to repeat the process over and over and over. So for me, it would be just something like, okay, so if for my first meal of the day, I have protein, carbs, fat, vegetable or fruit. If the source changes, it doesn't matter as long as the portion is rather the same. That's it. So there's no tedious logging into my phone. There's no worrying about the minute differences between chicken breast and chicken thigh. It does not matter. Very, very minute stuff. It's protein, it's protein. Or for carbs, if it's oatmeal or if it's sweet potatoes. Carbs, it does not matter. So my philosophy is, as long as I adhere to these things in every single meal, and it's rather same portion, so that's up to you how you want to portion out your food. You could portion out your food with like a scale, you could portion out your food by like your plate. It does not matter. Either way, it's just protein, it's just carbs, it's just fat, it's just vegetables and fruits. Then you just try to repeat the process, just replacing whatever you want. And as long as the portions are similar, you will see success. Now, I am gonna say though, that if you want to use MyFitnessPal once in a while, go nuts. I use that with my clients once in a while. Never on a long-term basis, because I just believe it creates more problems than it solves. I hope you like those tips. I hope it gave you a little bit of insight on counting calories, whether you should do it, shouldn't do it. Comment below other things you want me to talk about if it relates to this. I love helping dudes figure out a fat loss strategy. And if you're looking for a coach, there's a link below where I can work with you one-on-one to see if you qualify. Just book a consultation. This is where we'll go over how to strategize your eating in your busy lifestyle, how to strategize working out and all that other jazz. So hopefully these tips helped. Like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and of course, have yourselves a lovely day. Can you dig it? Do I? Yeah.